Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Factorio Bob's Angels. Now on episode 56, slowly encroaching 60. So I haven't yet decided what I'm going to do at 60. I'll do something, maybe another Bob's Angel of Death as per usual, or maybe something a little bit different if I can actually come up with anything. But we start with the episode getting attacked up in the north near the Sapphirite, which I kind of want to ignore because that may be what we deal with in episode 60. It was kind of what I wanted to deal with at episode 50, but yeah, my ability to slay without turret pushing just wasn't the same. We only got so much done, but yeah, that is kind of the last area that really needs clearing as far as accessing resources is concerned, thanks to the infinite patches and stuff like beacons really make those infinite patches very effective even after they've been virtually entirely depleted. So the first thing I do in the episode is get a 6-to-6 balancer, because this bit of belt here was kind of annoying me, and eventually we're going to have 6 iron anyway. We kind of get this shoehorned in. I don't like these little bit of corners going everywhere, but I couldn't really get it to line up without going on the path, and belts don't go on the path. That's just the way it goes. It's just sacrilege. You know, if I put belts on the path, then everything else is just going to start getting messy and it's all going to be wrong. But yeah, it still doesn't completely saturate those top belts. So I don't know. I've had this with green belts before where they just never get fully saturated. I don't know if it's a green belt thing or if I'm doing something wrong. But if anyone knows, I'm sure they'll let me know. So anyway, as we ended last episode, I did say I was going to look at copper. So we do have a quick look at getting upgraded. I've upped my green belt request, so the bots should now be bringing me 1200 units of green belt, so they're more likely to start bringing me stuff as I start using it. But also I start the episode off with a much better stockpile, so we do actually manage to upgrade pretty much all of the copper process all the way back to the station, which is of course already nice and fully upgraded with green belt. But yeah, we're now having a bit of a shortfall on copper, so it's worth getting that upgraded. I get the crushed stone connected up. We'll see how it performs, whether we need to put in an extra crushed stone line or not. I don't really want to have to do that. But we never actually completed the second line of Crotinium, so we just come down, get all of this upgraded to green back to the storage warehouses. But we do also have a look at getting that other Crotinium line in. A bit of faffing around just with where it's inputted into places. But yeah, it's definitely not going to run very well on a single yellow belt. So we come and just shoehorn that in. This was supposed to be a bit of a different episode from the last few. I've been doing a lot of belt upgrading the factory speed in general, and I wanted to do something a bit different just to keep the variety, but the upgrades we've done so far haven't really going to make an effect unless we get these last ones in. So this episode is just trying to make those a little bit more relevant. Because yeah, last episode I had very short attention span. I'd start upgrading something, I'd get halfway, and it would effectively just be pointless. So yeah, kind of finishing off a few things. But once you upgrade one thing, you can suddenly see where the next shortfall is, and those upgrades are only really going to make a difference once you complete absolutely everything. And I just get distracted so easily. You can see iron's doing very well. Those belt conditions are stopping any iron going through, which means the buffer warehouse is on 100,000, I think it's set to. It's fairly big, so we're doing all right for iron there. But I think our issue is getting it down the bus and actually getting it to where it's needed. I also spot a little bit of green belt there that we missed out and is on blue, which is why I think I was getting a little confused with the iron ore coming through and just not coming through fast enough. But hopefully that sorts that out. Again, we've got room to put in 6 belts of iron ore, so at some point I will do that. So I did say a few episodes ago, I don't really want to be doing too much in between episodes, and the last 3, 4, maybe 5 episodes, I've done absolutely nothing or very, 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 very little things just to try and keep everything in the video. But I think I am going to do maybe one of these upgrade sessions where I just do a few more belts, just because the last few episodes have all kind of been the same. So yeah, you're genuinely getting the gist of what I'm doing. I'm just following stuff around like you do in Factorio. It's one of the best things in Factorio. That's why I think a lot of people enjoy it so much, is just the troubleshooting is just kind of really satisfying in it. Once you got your factory laid out, it's all just a case of streamlining it and just getting things running absurdly fast. Like these iron cogs here, we get these upgraded with yet another set of stack inserters for the second 2 rows. I don't know why I didn't do that on the first row. But yeah, they're using a ridiculous amount of iron. So we clear our current research queue and we start getting combat robotics set up. So for this to become even slightly effective, we need to go straight for the highest tier of combat robotics, although I like the destroyer drones. I don't like the laser ones for some reason, just the way they move and in combat, but I'll go into that more probably in the episode where we use them. We get the research done for that. The other thing we need to research for them to be any good is the follower count. If you can only have a few out, really that great. I'd like them when you can, have like 60, 70 out. So we're possibly using those a hell of a lot soon. It's going to be very handy in episode 60. So I get that research going and we do get that set up at some point in this episode. I also notice I haven't got any beacons being delivered to me. I am requesting them. And of course, I've rebuilt the whole logistics construction area bit, and I haven't got anywhere near all the stuff added back in again. I've just, again, been avoiding having that, 3 episodes of me just laying stuff out in the bot construction area. So we do get that added in today at some point. But we continue with our quest to turn the entire factory belts green. One thing that is quite a bit of a shortfall with Purple Science is the steel. So we got that upgraded all the way back to the steel smelting all in one go. This stockpile of green belt in my inventory is, I'm now very happy I did it because I'm able to upgrade full sort of sections like this without stopping in between and getting distracted. I also notice the furnaces here are still down on the Mark 1 furnaces, so we try and get those upgraded, but I realise I'm not requesting any, and I'm not even sure I get the request set up. I think that's actually something I got completely distracted on and don't end up doing. So unless that happens in a minute, I'll go and get that done in the factory because they really need to be on the highest tier. We'll get the maximum number of raw productivity into there to be as efficient as we can with our iron. So come and have a look again to see how we can speed up the Purple Science. So now all the belts are upgraded for their input products for the oil derricks. I do try and stick in speed modules directly into a couple of assemblers just to see how they get on. But the next thing we need to upgrade is the inserters. So yeah, I've now got a fully set up upgrade planner just for inserters. Basically, any kind of inserter will just go straight to the express stack inserter, the fastest one we have available. So yeah, I use that quite a lot this episode. We just go around upgrading absolutely all of them to the express stack inserter, the fastest one available. I've already said that. I noticed a couple of steel bits of belt I didn't get done, and while this is all happening, we absolutely fly through some of the first follower robot count. So hopefully these upgrades are making a positive difference. But yeah, we all get all the way up to follower robot count 9 or 10, I think, but we'll see momentarily. We're flying through them. We come and have a look, just checking on solder to see if we can get that belt fully saturated. I get the tier 8 raw productivity into the electronic assemblers. And we also look at just doing a brief bit of upgrading on the products that they're used for. But with those raw productivity 8, they're hardly using any resources, and they're keeping those 2 belts almost completely saturated. I'm not sure if I put any underground belt in just to help them get fully saturated. I'm sure. I think I might go back to it. Yeah, because it's still not fully saturated. But yeah, the amount of products they're using is quite amusing. It's very little for what they're actually outputting. So those electronic assemblers with the tier 8 raw productivity are pretty ridiculous. But yeah, we saw a power fluctuation there. I kind of completely forgot about power again. We had those fluctuations a few episodes ago, and they haven't really come back. So that is something we do sort out in this episode. I haven't been doing solar in between episodes because I haven't been doing anything or virtually nothing in between episodes. But I finally come and get beacons laid out. I was going to do it earlier. I got distracted, and then I tried to have a look at putting one out for solder, or at least I think there is one out for solder. But yeah, I realised I need to get that in. So we get that put in very quickly using the express stack inserter to pass the next one over. I did get those blueprints finally added to the Foreman mod. So yeah, whenever I need to add new stuff to the logistics construction area, the blueprints are there now, because the number of times I've created that blueprint is getting a bit silly. So we come and have a look at putting a loader and a passive provider in for military science, just because it seems the most sensible way of doing it. Because now military science is a bit slow. Now we're actually doing a bit of combat research. We're using a bit of the military, and it's actually slower than the purple science. So you can see All the purple science there is almost kind of stopped, although we are lacking the electronic circuits a bit. So we have to keep going back and having a look at that. But again, we're using our upgrade planner to deal with all these inserters. And I just go straight for express just so that I don't have to do it in stages. I don't have to worry about it. I know we're going for the fastest one. So if they're never quick enough, then you probably need to move to a loader. It's just my layout never really incorporated sticking loaders in everywhere. But when you get to modules of this kind of level, it probably makes sense. Yeah, and I wasn't happy with the iron belt layout down here. It's still a bit sloppy. But we get in some raw productivity in for the iron cogs, which is only really the only place I can put them in here. Again, because I have the intermediary thing switched off. But yeah, this factory would be a hell of a lot more productive if that was on. But yeah, I need to stop going on about that so much. And it's weird, I couldn't put raw productivity in for the military science, but I had been able to do it for all of the others. So I was a bit annoyed about that. But I guess we'll just have to accept it. There's not really much I can do about it. We do have a shortage of the integrated electronics. I haven't worked on those for a little bit, so I've completely forgotten the name of those. And that appears to be down to a lack of silicon wafers. So we get some tier 8 raw productivity into the production of those, just to be a bit more efficient with our use of resources. But yeah, we've stockpiled a load of green belt again. So it's time to upgrade yet another belt to green. And we'd kind of done a tiny bit of silicon kind of pointlessly. So it'd be good to get this finished, get another Arthur job done, get it finished, and get silicon upgraded a bit more. We got a bit more raw productivity 8, so we get those in the first ones. And naturally, we get the inserters upgraded as well. But yeah, we're doing pretty well in episodes, the last few ones. I haven't had to go and look at defenses at all. So yeah, that push out in the south has taken them nicely out of the pollution. It's just our serious area is up at where the sapphirite is. But at some point I need to show how big the pollution cloud is getting, because it's getting pretty huge. It's starting to really branch out. So yeah, episodes leading up to 60, I'm going to be getting ready for the episode itself. Maybe bits of upgrading. But yeah, finishing the defenses. There's a lot of defenses I need to finish, and I have been neglecting, so next episode will probably be defense focused. And yeah, I'm going to go do some upgrading after finishing this episode, and probably get some stuff added into this logistics area. I'm not going to be doing any science. I'll switch that off. I like to keep science only running in the recordings. Now, I said earlier I got these blueprints into Foreman. It wasn't actually then, it was now. So I get 2 done. I do one for when an item's being passed across. I then do another one for the end product. Kind of a bit unnecessary, but it means I can just load those up straight away. I never have to lay them out or edit the design. But one thing I forget to do in the passover part is get the green circuit wiring. I could get that in by default, get the value in of how I'm going to use it for most products. But I should really get that in place. So now we're looking at laying out the production of combat robots. So destroyer robots, of each of them, distractors, I can't remember what the first one's called, but yeah, all the things, combat robots, apart from the laser ones. The laser ones kind of annoy me. They move quite differently from the destroyer robots. The destroyer robots are quite slow, and when you're running into a biter base, they kind of come in after you, so you're the one being targeted by all the worms, and they only get damaged by AoE stuff. I don't know what they're going to be like with the changes done to Bob's Warfare and the way spitters aren't no longer sort of auto-tracking. But the thing with the laser ones is they move really erratically, and quite often they fly in front of you, and they're the ones being targeted, and they get destroyed really easily. So they are better, they do more damage. It's just, in my experience, I've found you go through a lot more of them. I may set it up anyway and have a mix of the two. I've done that before. But yeah, I don't know if they've been changed at all in any of the updates. So now thinking about it, it might be sensible for me to have both. But I get the destroyer ones set up. And if I really do want to stick the laser ones in, I will do it at some point. I also realised there's a number of products not being completed because they're not getting wooden boards. And it turns out wood isn't able to get into the logistics system. So we get a passive warehouse into the tree prison area. So I was requesting solar panels during this episode. So I decided to have it in the recording. We go and finish laying out a load of the solar panels that I had blueprinted out before, but I do have quite a lot on me. I requested quite a few, so we took all the ones in reserve out of the factory, and it was making a load more for us during the recording. So we come and get this laid out. The bots on me are running nice and fast now, but I could do with a few more roboports. I should really get the second power armor set up. I've got access to the last one. I literally just haven't felt the need to build the final piece of power armor, but I will get that done in the next few episodes. And I'll probably have 2 of them, one based on working in the factory and one solely for combat. So yeah, the one for construction will have absolutely loads of roboports in it, plenty of the modules for marking objects on the ground. I still haven't really made a huge effort to go around cleaning up, so yeah, there's still some here and there, but now we've got the Mark IV construction robots. They do clear them up quite nicely. So with another stockpile of green belts in our inventory, we come and have a look at upgrading another line of belts. This time it's copper's turn. We do get all the way back to the smelting area, but there's a bit of a problem because I want 6 belts of iron in there. I completely forgot I changed these to red underground because they were clashing partially with the belt balancer, so I need to work out what I'm going to do here. I'm going to have to probably do something really horrible where I move the copper belts down a few spaces just for that little bit to get around it. I don't really like that, but I'm, just going to have to accept it, really. It's going to be the way it goes. But we get green belts all the way up to copper. We also get the iron ore input all the way back to the copper stockpiling warehouse. But unfortunately, we do run out of belts at this point, and they're not bringing me very money. So I kind of want to have a look why, because I thought I'd streamline the belt production pretty well. We come and have a look, and it's down to a shortage of the titanium cogs. We get those assemblers upgraded, get the maximum raw productivity in there. We also double up the values in the passive provider just because it's happening so fast now. We need more values in the requester and the provider, and then the same for the nitinol bearings, which are just going ridiculously fast at normal speed, let alone at 3 times speed. So we kind of do the same thing again here. Adding a few more inserters, increasing the values on the passive providers. And to be honest, the belt production now is just getting absolutely ridiculous. We're probably not going to need it any faster than this. And once all the belts, or the majority of belts, are upgraded, we're going to stop using these so much. So yeah, it's literally just being upgraded for the sake of my impatience. I had some more express stack inserters for the input of iron cogs for the blue belt, because that suddenly then becomes the shortfall. But yeah, the whole process all starts over again, and the shortage is once again lubricant, because we're not using enough petroleum. That's the thing that's backed up. None of the heavy oil is going through for light oil cracking. Yeah, we basically just need to use more plastic, I think. So we get as many of the raw productivity 8 as we can in there. There are 2 empty slots. Although I think I upgraded it after doing the raw productivity and then didn't add the last 2 slots. So we take another look at the main bus to see what else is thin. There are a number of products that are really bad, but the worst looks like coal. It's another thing, like I was talking about with the stone earlier or last episode, is coal is used massively late game for things like carbon and the military science. So we come and have a look at upgrading coal to green, and I cock up the loader values as per usual, and we get a load of sapphirite, stereotype I think's in there. Yeah, get a load of stuff in there we really don't want. So I come and tidy that up, and we clear it all off the belt and carry on upgrading this to green. So yeah, we are using quite a bit of coal for power as well, because we're not producing enough power from solar. So we have been using up coal, I think, towards the end of the night when the accumulators get too low, and suddenly that coal belt has probably been the shortage for power. But yeah, we get this upgraded all the way down to carbon at least, because that's where it is being used the most. We need to get it all the way down the bus as well. But yeah, carbon is the priority. We get all the belts done for carbon. We get the inserters upgraded. I think we get some raw productivity in there, or do we go for the belt first? No, we go for the belt. But it probably would have been a sensible idea to go and put some raw productivity in. It may be because I don't have any in my inventory. There was a point towards the end of the episode here where they stopped being delivered to me almost altogether. And I think I go and have a look again at what the problem is. But yeah, I can't quite remember exactly. But carbon is at least updated all the way down to the logistics input. Here we go. This is where we come back. We finally come back and get the raw productivity into those. We could really get them upgraded to multi-purpose furnaces. That would give us some more raw productivity slots, therefore making our use of the coal a lot more efficient. So yeah, that is one thing I do need to do. But I get distracted as per usual, and we come and have a look at the production of basic electronic board, just trying to get that green belt completely saturated. But we get the inserters upgraded, and yes, it would be a really good idea to get these raw productivity 8. And I must have been not paying attention earlier because I've got loads of them on me. We go and get loads in and loads into the products that they're used in as well. And to be honest, this science should have been done ages ago as well. We want raw productivity absolutely everywhere. But yeah, another case of doing the modules before the assembler. I should really do it after the assembler, because each grade of assembler gives you more and more slots for modules, and you know, because we're using all productivity modules in assemblers, that is the most efficient way of doing it. And then we're putting raw speed in the beacons wherever we can. I have upgraded some of them, but yeah, they need doing in other locations. So we take a quick look at science as characteristics. Slot 8 starts to use alien science, and there's a bit of a shortage on the high-tech science pack. So I quickly just come and have a look at what that is, and it's literally because we've got a yellow belt inputting with a normal inserter. So again, we get the loader and passive provider in, which is a hell of a lot faster, and we get the belts all upgraded for it. We're going to have to look at the input products for these, but yeah, we get some raw productivity 8 in as far as we can until we run out, but we will need to look at the input products for that. We also have a look at why express stack inserters are a bit short. So we come and have a look, and it is the production of electronic circuit board that's short. We're not getting enough of them coming down. To begin with, that's to do with the transistors not getting through quick enough, but we do something very stupid. We get a hell of a lot of express stack inserters updated for this whole area, but those are the circuits needed to produce them. So yeah, we kind of break it. We don't have any more coming through. We've used all of the circuits. So I take all the ones out of my inventory, all of the express stack inserters I also take out of my inventory. But yeah, we kind of broke it there. I have to manually go and fix it at the end of the episode, just with a couple of express inserters, just to get it running. And then eventually it does make enough of this, the express stack inserters to fix that area. I think I do that now. I come and put it in. But yeah, very silly thing to do, to go and break the product you need to place the item that you broke it with. But yeah, you know, next episode we're going to be possibly looking at defenses, maybe a bit more upgrading. I need to have a look at the factory and see what, you know, I need to see what my agenda is going to be on the road to episode 60. But yeah, I just shoehorn in some normal express inserters just to get some transistors going through, which does get us a few of the required circuits. It takes about 10 minutes to get all the express stack inserters placed. But yeah, yeah, bit of a crude fix, but you know, that's going to be all we have time for this episode. I do hope you have enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and please do come and join me next time. Bye bye.